I stood there in shock, just staring at the fuck I just found, staring at the embodiment of all the questions that arose, but no answers. If she existed, then why does no one remember her? Where the hell is she? Why is this teddy bear here? How in the fuck is this happening? Where is everything else of hers? Why is any trace of her at home gone? So many questions. Questions, but no fucking answers. My hands gripped my head as I dropped the teddy bear. My head was splitting open with a headache. I dropped to my knees and picked up the teddy bear once again. Tears were streaming down my face. Zoe, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I didn't look for you. I'm so sorry. I buried my face into the teddy bear's somehow still soft, plushy fur, thinking of how many times I saw her carrying this thing around without a care in the world. I cried even harder. I stayed there for hours until I couldn't cry anymore, not knowing how much time I spent kneeling in that same spot. I went home in the pitch-black night, clutching my sister's precious teddy bear. I was now overcome with rage. I swung the door to my house open and went immediately to the cutlery drawer. I took out the largest kitchen knife that I saw and went to my parents' bedroom. Wake up. I said wake up! I screamed at my parents and they sat up, groggy from sleep. What are you screaming for? We just went to... I yanked my dad hard out of the bed and put the knife up to his throat. My mom was now understanding what was going on and was horrified. Karen, please, calm down. No, get the fuck out of bed. You're going to drive to the hospital. Right now. Some of you may not agree with what I did, but I had no idea who I can trust at that time, and I needed to get to the bottom of what was going on, and quick. I had no real ideas of hurting anyone or my parents. I just did what I had to do. They quickly complied to my orders and were driving to the hospital. I hadn't told them what we were going there for yet. Kieran, I thought you were getting better, my mom said to me, trying not to cry. I handed her the teddy bear that I found. Care to explain that? What is this? Is this supposed to mean anything at all? Is this why you threaten your dad with a fucking knife? What are you trying to prove? She looked at me through the mirror like I was insane. Just as I thought, they actually had no fucking clue about anything. I would have expected to see at least a flash of guilt or worry in their eyes once they saw this, but they treated me exactly like how they have been for the past 3 years. Like I was a total nutcase. Truth is, I probably was. We arrived at the hospital, and I told them that we were going to get my mom examined to possibly figure out how many babies she has delivered based on the strain on her body. They were still too scared of me to do anything that went against what I asked of them. We all walked inside. When we made it to the desk, my mom made the odd request. The nurse looked rightfully confused at this. I mean, what kind of maniac would want to check how many babies she has delivered? But the nurse complied nonetheless. I let out a sigh of relief when I knew there was some way to check this physically. Take a seat over there for now, please. We'll be right with you, she said. After about 15 minutes, which felt way longer than that, my mom was called in. My dad took this chance alone to speak up about me. You are a fucking disappointment, you know that, Kieran? He whispered harshly to me. Threatening your own father with a goddamn knife to fulfill these batshit crazy delusions of yours? When did you get so insane? I stared blankly at the wall in front of me. I did not want to say anything to him. Not ever. I deserved those words he said regardless. I stood up and walked to the reception desk and asked the nurse something. My dad could care less where I went, so I luckily didn't have to explain anything to him. Excuse me. What can I help you with, sir? I need you to search a birth record for me, please. I need a Zoe Callister. Callister. Zoe Callister, she said to herself as she typed Zoe's name into the computer. I'm very sorry, sir, but no record seems to come up under the name Zoe Callister. Shit. This was the hospital she was born in. So why wasn't there any birth record on their systems? Was the hospital staff somehow brainwashed too into erasing every part of Zoe from their memories? And not only that, but from their entire system? And if that was true, who or what brainwashed them? How did I avoid the brainwashing? What the hell did they want with my little sister? Too many questions that no one could answer. After another long wait with my dad, who hated me, my mom showed up again, and she looked very shaken up by something, and this piqued my interest. "So how did it go?" I asked her, extremely impatient to get a response out of her. "Let's go to the car." When we got to the car, she was shaking. I knew she was about to have some good news for me, at least. I once again bombarded her with questions regarding the examination they performed on her. "They said that I'd possibly given birth to more than one child." I fucking knew it, I said with a laugh, but in reality this was filling me with more questions than imaginable. I knew I wasn't crazy. My mom and dad both looked at me like they had before, scared and disgusted. But there was a new look. Disbelief. And that was progress. "Listen, Mom, Dad, this teddy bear I found belonged to Zoe, your daughter, my sister." I pointed dramatically to the teddy bear I was holding in my hands. "I got this for her on her 5th birthday, remember? Look, I even have the tag, which proves it." I showed my parents to and from tag I found last night. "Neither of us have ever seen that thing in our entire life, Kieran. You have to stop with this whole little sister thing. There is no Zoe, and there never will be. This whole hospital thing was most likely just a mistake. There's absolutely no way in the world I had given birth to more than one child. I'm sorry, Kieran, but please get out of the car." I looked at my dad for some reason, expecting some sort of support out of him, but he just stared at me with the same disappointment and disgust in his eyes that has always been there. So, no progress with my parents believing me, but I may have found proof that my mom actually gave birth to Zoe. And I am kicked out of the house, for now. I took up my phone and called Noah. It was pretty late, so when he answered, it was pretty clear that I woke him up with this call. "Hello? Hey dude, sorry to bother you, but do you mind if I come over to stay at your house tonight? I got in a little spat with my parents." Understatement of the century, right there. Yeah, sure man, I don't mind. See you in a bit." Appreciate it. The whole walk to Noah's, my mind was racing with even more questions and possible things I could do to solve this mess. I decided that on the walk right there and then that I was done with alcohol and drugs, and promised myself that I would stop at nothing to find my Zoe. When I got to Noah's house, I almost immediately crashed on the couch into a very restless sleep. I was dreaming. I was in my house, but it was the better version of my house. I saw Zoe in her actual room the same way she had looked when she disappeared, with the same blue eyes as me, the long dirty blonde hair, and her extremely carefree smile. In a split second, our house burnt to ashes around us, and me and Zoe were left in the forest. But I had recognized this part of the forest. It was the same place where I had found her lost teddy bear. Zoe was still standing there in front of me, but her smile faded into a frown. "Why did Mommy and Daddy forget me?" she asked with a broken voice. This wasn't good. I immediately started to tear up. "Sweetheart, I don't know, but I promise I'm gonna find you, okay? I promise that you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. I just need you to stay strong until I figure this out, okay?" Zoe started turning around and started running away from me. It was in a playful manner. She would run and then look back at me with a teasing smile on her face, daring me to chase her. I went after her and she was laughing the entire time. Even if it was just a dream, hearing that laugh made me so happy. After a few minutes of me chasing her, I realized she was coming up to a house in the middle of the forest. Why it was there, I have no idea. I was too caught up on feeling nostalgic, and I automatically said, "Hey Zoe, be careful, you don't want to ever run up to a stranger's house like that." Of course, this was a dream, and she ignored my warning and walked up to the steps towards the house. She looked back and stuck her tongue out at me. "Zoe!" I yelled, serious this time. She opened the door to a pitch-black hallway and went inside. I went after her, but before I can get to the house, the door slammed in my face. I frantically tried at the door, but it wouldn't budge. "Zoe, get out here now!" Slamming hard on the door. I heard a scream coming from inside. I woke up with such a start I fell off the couch I was sleeping on. "Whoa there! You okay there, bud?" Noah asked, half laughing, but he was sitting on the chair across from the couch. "Get off your ass," I said to him. "We're going to the forest."